We're twinning Wednesday.
I know, right?
And you guys are twinning.
Oh yeah.
What is
he doing here this early?
Today I decided to join the party.
I see.
Charlie, you guys have a lot of fun in the morning.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of fun.
Dance, we sing,
we eat. That's it.
I like the food. I don't like dance.
It's time for you to dance.
Yeah.
You can't join us at 6 a.m.
Can you? Is it Coco or Harriet?
No, it's
Harriet.
Can you play something?
Whoever is listening, don't listen to the ladies.
Can you play something?
You're here for serious business. You're here for serious business.
We dance to a gospel
You
song.
can't have this height and not be able to dance.
Well, at least I can do some break dance, you know.
Oh no.
Something like that.
Time it came, Pacho.
We've
progressed. Don't do that.
So which one is in vogue now?
You left me behind.
The new ones.
Which one?
This one.
I saw you do that. I saw you do that. It didn't come off too well.
Bella is in love with that dance. I can't
listen, there are some girls I follow on Instagram, and all they do is dance.
They do it perfectly.
So every morning I try to do it before.
So that's your morning exercise.
Oh yeah.
I see.
There are a few other ones that.
What's it called though?
So the song has a name. That South African genre has a name.
You do it so well every morning.
I'm the piano. The dance doesn't have a name. At least I don't know yet. But I see them do it. It's like,
I love the way Johnny was just like.
Hey, Charlie, I'm watching.
Just a reminder.
Apparently
this morning, if you're buying a crate of eggs, it's 26 cedis. So if you're buying it for 19 cedis, now it's 26
No, but
cedis.
I used to buy it for 22.
Yeah, so what's probably that? So the bigger ones are 26 now, the medium sized ones are 22, and the small ones are now.
The virgin eggs are 26.
The interesting thing is the Nkosianis secret to me. They are so small. I think that the chickens are very malnourished. Yeah. They are not able to eat or feed properly.
But if I don't see the big eggs, I'll buy it too.
Yeah, me too. I like the big
fat
ones.
You know?
Oh, okay. Speaking
Why
of,
are you quiet? You don't buy eggs?
I mean, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
You only buy egg on your water. You don't even know where it comes from.
Yeah, so I buy it on the watch when it's already.
Exactly.
or when they fry it for him at
home. So you don't even make egg stew at home?
No, I do. You should taste my egg stew. It's like one of the best you'd have in Accra.
Oh, from the back.
No, because you know, rich people don't really care about prices.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I go, I pay with a card. Really, I don't really care about the price.
You buy egg.
I'm going to space. You mind? I get you anything?
Yeah. You buy egg with a card.
I mean, no, I buy groceries. Yeah. Egg obviously will be part of them.
And you buy supermarket egg.
Yes, that one is more expensive.
Yeah, you know, so it's already in the crate.
No, yeah,
the plastic
it's all
crates,
cleaned up.
All cleaned
we
up.
Like the one.
So I don't really care about the price.
You pay for the dress you're wearing that you're telling us.
Wow, I think it's getting personal.
Charlie, speaking of which, Lionel Messi is in the news.
Talking about payments and a fun fact. So Lionel Messi happens to be, if not one of the best ever to kick the ball, the best player we've ever seen in football. Yeah. And for those of us in this generation, I think we need to just adore the man. But this is a fun fact. There's a man who's actually cost £0 in his entire career.
What? He's cost £0.
£0. Yeah. No one has ever bought him with a pound. So Barcelona got him as a youngster, didn't have to pay anything to anyone. He grew up in the academy and then became a legend there. And now he's moving to Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. Guess what? As a free agent for nothing. So,
for nothing?
For nothing. I mean,
they're not paying Barca for taking.
They're not paying Barcelona for anything.
Oh, okay.
But because he's a free agent.
Player who, moves to a club and.
Oh no! I mean, a lot of players when your contract expires, you go for free.
When you guys say free agents, exactly what do you mean?
Free agent means that your contract with the current club is expired, so now you are free to decide where to go.
Okay. Oh, so he chose PSG?
He chose PSG. But if you are not a free agent...
But they had an interest, no?
Of course, they had. A lot of clubs had interest. Of course, it's Lionel Messi.
But
the thing is, if you're not a free agent and you are tied under any club, the club then will negotiate on your behalf as to where you go. So they would now decide, what financial, what deal makes more financial sense. So, if he was still under contract, Barcelona could have decided to sell to a Chinese club because they were paying bigger money. Right. But now he decides where to go.
But the man's name is Messi, so... But speaking of which, the move from Barcelona to PSG now, he was very teary about it. Very, very teary.
He was going to make money.
But I understand that there was no choice really. Yeah. Because per the laws in Spain, he couldn't have been paid less than what he was actually demanding. Okay, because he had tried to rebase it so many times.
So here's a summary of the story. Okay. So he was on £1.2 million per week.
Oh my God.
So there's a player who was earning.
You want only the two.
No, but that's what I earn here.
That's your.
The guy works for me.
$1.2 million. Jesus Christ.
Johnny, do you know this lady right here? Johnny, I will from the skies.
Charlie, this is where I want to be a footballer.
Thank you very much.
What's your football age? What's your football age?
13.
It's been nice working with you. Thank you. It's been nice working with you.
Under 13,
If you're earning that kind of money, you don't walk into the studio. You descend from the sky.
It's been amazing working with you. I'll see you again.
I am 13 now.
This is the player who was obviously the highest paid player in the world. Every 7 days, he was walking away with more than $1 million. And
exclusive of tax.
How much of that goes into taxes?
I mean, that is before tax.
Okay.
But I mean, it comes down to £700,000.
Hey,
and it's still great money every Thursday.
Yeah.
Thing is, when his contract was expiring, Barcelona had issues, political issues, administrative issues. They needed to change. They needed to hold elections, to change the president and all of that. Lionel Messi was a big advocate of the former president leaving.
Okay.
He was voted out. The new president came in, and then he's Messi's friend. Messi went to play for Argentina, came back. Everybody thought he signed a new contract.
Yeah.
He had agreed a new contract. But La Liga, and of course the law you mentioned, says that you cannot pay the player below a certain amount. And Lionel Messi needed to be paid a certain amount. He had actually agreed for a salary cut just so that he can remain at Barcelona.
So from 1.2 he was agreeing to 1 million?
No, 600,000.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was agreeing to 600.
50%.
He actually was generous like that because
that generous. He
has stuck with the team for God knows.
And is it true they never came back to him with that amount?
Well, they did.
Didn't even say anything
well,
about
they
it.
did, but it was delayed. And Barcelona and La Liga say that, well, there are rules. You need to pay him a certain amount. You cannot
the window
pay him.
is open.
And you see, Barcelona had issues there because, I mean, for the Barcelona fans, they need to understand this. So a lot of people think that it's all La Liga's fault. No.
Yeah.
Barcelona as a club knew administratively that you needed to have a certain wage structure.
Yeah.
So you were bringing in new players who were commanding a lot of salaries, huge salaries. And that affected the wage bill, which means that Lionel Messi could not be paid a certain amount. And that's all there is really.
So is he moving? Somebody made a controversial statement yesterday that he's moving to his new team, the PSG, with his fans. Do they follow the player or they follow the team?
Well, with Messi, they'll definitely
Messi's an
follow
institution,
the player.
really. He's an institution. And the thing is, he's not just moving with the fans. This is even bigger. He's moving with all the big companies. So all the huge global companies are now moving with Lionel Messi, and PSG are going to become a good hub.
Yeah, PSG doesn't win.
They are owned by Qataris, but they already are.
But if PSG doesn't win
the Champions League
this season, Charlie, then they be now.
It's not casting stone.
I mean, Messi's still there.
Exactly. I was just going to say exactly.
But you see, the thing is,
I'm saying if they don't win, right now,
reason
with
I side with Johnny here is it's not just Lionel Messi. They've brought in Sergio Ramos, one of the best defenders we've ever seen.
I've seen that.
They've brought in Achraf Hakimi. He's a budding, attacking fullback.
Okay.
They've brought in quite a number of players. And they have Neymar and Mbappe. All you need now is a manager like me. Blend these guys.
One of them is single. You don't let
Mbappe is single. So let me. Can I give you the list? Can I give you the list? Mbappe is single.
Relax.
Johnny Hughes is single.
Which Johnny? Which one?
Let's take the names one after the other. The man's name is Mbappe. I say Mbappe.
But Onu Pembela Mundi.
I like it out there. Good morning to you.
Ofi France.
He's French.
He's French. So with all the French love, French kiss.
I know, right?
She likes French things as well.
Okay.
So who
French
else
fries.
is on the list?
Who else is on the list?
Is Neymar married?
Thierry.
Who?
Thierry Henry.
That's my all-time crush, though.
Thierry Henry.
I love that guy.
Thierry Henry.
I love his bald head.
Oh, you do?
You like Santo people?
No, his bald head.
Johnny Hughes.
Because a lot of Santo men are around.
You need a shave. Johnny Hughes, you need a shave.
No, I don't want
Johnny's
it.
Anyway, so just a little bit.
No, divorced actually.
Divorced,
just a little bit on the side to give you a snippet of sometimes what these players enjoy. So yesterday, his first appearance at PSG, he was wearing a Rolex watch. Okay. Yes, and
the
it's
original
called
or the fake?
original.
Right now we have to be
original, original Rolex watch, and it's actually called the Yachtmaster in 18K rose gold.
Nice.
And guess how much it is on his wrist yesterday? 32,750,000 US.
Charlie, like, we stop the school.
So that was the school. That was the watch. That was the. Oh, so that's it right there. Exactly. So that's the watch he's wearing in the shop right now. Yes.
For the school.
And in a designer T-shirt as well. This you can get for 850,000.
But look at how simple the shirt is.
But you see,
yeah, but fake
thing with these football stars, Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest managers. So he's the most sponsored manager in world football. He has 13 sponsors, including Lipton, including Jaguar, including Yahoo, and all of that. Guess what? Hublot, the watchmakers, are one of the sponsors.
Oh,
and every single month, they give one watch worth more than 45,000.
Do they take the other one back?
No, it's his. Charlie, he's also the ambassador for Jaguar.
Charlie,
global. And so every new Jaguar that is made, he's the first to test it and he's the first to own it.
Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mourinho?
Yeah, Mourinho.
He's the first.
Charlie, you know what? You know what? You see all the nice things you are telling us.
Thank you very much. But this is where I quit to play.
I think we should say.
You're already earning the money.
I think we should say good morning to our sports minister. Honorable
No, but
good
that's
morning
true,
to you.
though.
Good morning to Kets. Good morning to you. You see how we're talking about other people's stuff. They are earning this. They are doing this. They are wearing this and that. Look at our boys who play football. League 500 Ghana,
it's amazing.
700 Ghana, 350 Ghana,
Not just football.
250
Ghana.
It's not a week.
They are running around.
At
You
least
see
they are
them.
getting something, Johnny. What about the other sports? We were all here expecting
No,
Ghana
let's-
to
let's-
win
let's
medals.
stay- oh,
I
please.
get you. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least football has some attention in the country.
Right.
They may be getting a pack of watch after match and all that, which I think is very, messed up in the first place. But look at the other people who play basketball, who go and represent Ghana in the Olympics. Do we have the facilities? No. Did we invest in their training from the last 4 years? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But we're all expecting that it'll come with gold and silver and bronze
I think
and
it's
all
the
that.
biggest topic in Ghana sports.
Yeah.
To be honest. How these athletes are supported.
How we start them.
Bella has made a very interesting
It's
point.
very
You
serious.
see, at least football is the passion of the nation. So there's a little bit of attention there.
attention,
Even though it's dire, it's not as dire as the other sports.
Yeah.
And
Right.
when you look at how some of these other boxers, some of these other swimmers are suffering. And you see, the thing is, swimming is a DB sport. So
Yeah.
a lot of the swimmers already come from very good homes. And they don't care about the little...
But that's the problem.
the small
Along the
motivations
coast,
that come.
look
But-
at the Ghana boys and how they swim, the fancy boys.
That's what the investment should be.
Swim.
That's
They
what the
really
investment
know
should be.
how.
Exactly.
They do.
That is why.
And they start at a very early age because
That's
so-
why I'm saying good morning to our health, our sports minister. Yeah, but we'll talk about health later.
No, but it's the situation.
But that's
is
why I'm saying
dire.
good morning to him, because you see, it again comes back to policy.
Yeah.
Not so long ago, we're talking about how even those in secondary schools or in the primary schools who are interested in sports are going to be encouraged such that a portion of their assessment will come from them. Whatever sports
Just as
they
it's
do.
done in the US.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm a footballer. I'm supposed to train 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it makes up 15 or 20% of the marks I'm supposed to
That
get
you make,
at the end of the term. So I dedicate my time to train very well, to win medals for the school.
Yeah.
And then I graduate into the national team and on and on. When the Olympics was happening, in this early stage, we started talking about the Ghanaian team. There's a guy on social media who came to show us about 6 or 7 medals that he had won during the inter-colleges day.
Okay.
Now he's a nurse because there was no support to bridge from that point. I mean, this is a national champion.
Yeah.
So no proper transition.
No proper transition, nothing.
No.
And so he thought that, well, I can't follow through like that. I'll be hungry.
Yeah.
I would have a family. I can't take care of them. So he chose to go to nursing school, and he's a nurse today.
Wow.
And he says, look, I had
Dreams
wanted to
cut
follow
short,
this,
eh?
but
Yeah.
I couldn't. That's why I'm saying, I said,
Dreams
look,
cut
it's
short.
all
Yeah.
policy
Dreams
direction.
cut short.
We're happy talking about Messi today. We're talking about Mourinho. We're talking about this. Yeah.
But we can have our Messi and we can have all our
We can have our
superstars
Usain
as well.
Bolt.
One day,
Right
one day
here.
we'll just talk about
Yeah.
how wealthy some of our Ghanaian footballers are as well. Some of them who are able to break it through.
Yeah.
have seen money.
Yeah.
Do they still
the
have
management
the money?
of it is a different.
No, but you see, and it is because of their own forcefulness. Take somebody like Capitano.
Yeah.
It is because he comes from Choco.
Yeah.
That's where he grew up. His mother was a fishmonger. He says it without shame. And I had opportunity to have a chat with him when we did something with Hillary Clinton and on her Clean Cook Stove campaign.
Sure.
And he was one of the ambassadors who was used there for clean fuels. And you could hear his story. He very inspirational.
He's very passionate about his story.
Him, a Samoajan as well.
One person who's also done very well that we don't really mention, Anthony Baffo.
Anthony Baffo
He still works for FIFA.
Oh, yes.
That gentleman still works for FIFA, and he's done extremely
He's been at CAF, he's been at
well.
FIFA. He's actually been match commissioner for FIFA World Cup final.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So
Anthony Baffo.
He's that huge. He's that
but
huge.
you see, the bottom line is that all of them did it from
by themselves. By themselves.
School of hard knocks.
Yeah,
and
by
you see,
themselves.
Maybe you tell us how our code system, even at this point, is fully functional. And whether or not it is dysfunctional.
Now there's a revamp of it this season.
And how
this
that
year.
transition happens. You know, because you start from codes, then you get in the divisions, and then you come and play the main league.
From
and
juvenile football, then you can now go to
divisions.
divisions
Thank you very
before
much.
you come to the top flight.
Now, even the code system, it's higher beams. Higher beams.
And even the few who survive, it's because some people came from outside the country to come and
pluck them out.
Exactly.
Scouts them.
So if you're not blessed to be handpicked, that's it. You remain here.
So that's a word.
So
it's handpicking. And so you mentioned the likes of Asamoah Ronaldo, Michael Essien, and all of that.
Were they handpicked as well?
It really is handpicking. So you know, it's some of the local scouts working with the foreign scouts, working in tandem to make sure that some of the the brilliant guys here would go outside the country. I mean, we still have a number of Ghanaians in Europe. How many of them understood the system we play here to be able to transition into the European system? So they get there and they are lost because they didn't get any professional touch while they were here. And so those are some of the transitional issues. Maybe one day it's going to be a topic.
Again, we don't allow our players to mature before we start thinking of selling them.
It's about the money.
And then
for that you cannot force them. It's about the money.
But
I mean, we are looking for the money to invest here. You're looking for the money to invest here and improve the system.
You mature, so you go collect the money.
So you need to go
Everybody
there.
learns on the craft anyway.
And then see, you are a footballer. You are training very, very hard. Stop using wrong age. Because if you are 38 and you tell them you are 20 and you get there and you get a leg injury and they inject you with medicine for 20-year-olds, you know you won't survive. You know you won't.
Are you referring to certain
I'm just
top players we have seen?
I'm just telling
you. Do you mind mentioning names?
No.
Did you just mention Lily?
No, I couldn't have. I couldn't have done that any day. I couldn't have. But I'm saying that
Bella.
I completely removed myself from that statement.
Too.
That Bella Mooney just made.
I
wasn't in the studio.
Not here. I didn't come to work today.
He's a champion in my community in Teshi, so I mean everybody knows him and loves him anyway.
Maybe I'm telling you that if you are 38, let your age be 38.
And then they put your family's, and then they put your family's photo up on social media, and your first son is 23.
It's older than the player.
There's another one that we're all making fun of at a point. Sometime
John
last year.
Mensah, Barroso.
No, there's another one. He's dark. I think he has a bit of
Bella,
afro.
it's okay.
John,
it's
is
okay.
it John? It's
Thank God you
not
can't
John
remember.
Mensah. No, John Mensah had cornrows.
John Boy.
No, it's not John Boy. Is it John Boy?
Oh, I forgot. We'll find it later.
They put up photos of their families and their first son is 23. And the player himself is...
You know, there's a funny story. Not true though. Not true though. But there was a funny story of the 2009 World Cup winning squad. That was Andre Ayew's squad. And Ajimamidu was part of the squad. So Ajimamidu was the one who scored the winning goal in the penalty shootout against Brazil. And then it's a funny story once again.
Well, he's 48.
A BBC interviewer spoke to him and asked him, who do you want to dedicate this win to? He says, to my wife, my children. And at 20, you have children? He says, I have 3.
Maybe he started
No.
He probably started early.
He forgot himself. He forgot where he was.
You see, the truth will always
I heard there was an under 13 match, ongoing. And when the Ghanaian team scored, they took off their shirts to jubilate. And they could see hairs on their chest. The coach says, hey, hey,
Well, quick one though. So the Day Show did a docu on Skate Nation GH.
Okay.
And so these are a group of young skaters. And, you know, I developed that interest in the Olympics because this was the first time that skating was introduced. Not roller skating, the regular skating. And so I realized there was some Brazilian chick, or girl, at 6, there were some videos of her out there. She tried to skate and she fell off a number of times and then she eventually was able to do it. And now she won silver. And then, coincidentally, I also saw a video of a Ghanaian club called Skate Nation. So we went to profile them. If you see where they train at the trade fair, you know, site. So there's an open place, it's tarred. It's cemented. So that is where they train. And already that is even wrong because that's not where they're supposed to be training. And these are lots of young people who are interested in skating. And he's saying that, unfortunately, nobody is paying attention to them.
I know a group too in Kaneshie. I know a group in Kaneshie. They block a portion of the road by the market every Sunday and train there. They are, what do you call it? They are enthusiastic. They are desirous. But there's no help. And I grew up with my grandmother cooking kenki. Most of the guys who used to play football would bring huge containers to come and collect what we call otishin because they don't have the money to survive. And once you go and train and come, you need to eat. So they come and take it and they wait for the portion of the otishin that has the small pieces of kenke, like the thick one, because they must survive. Then they buy bread on the way and they support it. If we have proper policies for them, in fact, even for proper salary structure for people who are playing in our major leagues, we're talking about the big boys. But our situation is so dire and everybody seems to be looking at it. So people who are supposed to be managers of football and other sporting activities in this country earn and get more than the people doing the work. The people on the field playing the ball, running, skipping, whatever it is, they don't get the money. The people on the site. So you find that whenever there's a sporting thing, you find all the big businessmen, they rush there to go and want to be around it. And it's not fair.
And it's not supposed to be so.
It's not supposed to be so. So
no matter
how, I'm saying good morning to the sports minister.
No matter how much you mention of, you mentioned the Uniteds, the Chelseas, and talk about how rich the owners are. Thing is, the players are earning huge amounts.
That's right.
Michael Essien was earning at the time more than £100,000 a week. Drogba was earning more than 200,000, and these were all players paid by one person who was still earning from football, but was still making enough to be able to pay them.
That's right.
And I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a balanced equation.
You can't do sports and be hungry.
No, maybe one day. I need these people to come together. The Asians, I know they are doing their best, but at least I need them to come together and really help revamp sports in the country.
Unfortunately, they're not doing anything about that.
You can't.
They are not.
You can't get all of them.
I will speak on authority. They are not doing anything about these players who have earned that much, that are either retired or retiring or still enjoying football, are only enjoying their money themselves and their families and friends.
Well, but I think that to be fair to some of them also run mentorship for some of the teams.
You see, the point Bella was trying to make is, what policies did you learn when you were playing outside of Europe?
Right.
And after you have earned that much, how much knowledge have you now come back here with to impact it?
Are they being allowed? Are they being allowed to get in?
You see, it starts from somewhere.
So somebody must see. Somebody must create the table.
Tony Buffo, for example, is doing.
Has gone to the highest.
Tony Buffo, for example, is doing a fabulous job with the PFA-AG, Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, making sure that the players are earning good money, enforcing it on the clubs, and starting or creating policies to make sure these players are also getting a decent life. Thing is, where are the Michael Essens? Where are the Samarans? I know I'm going to be called out, but I don't care. Where are all these guys who are supposed to be helping?
I'm saying that, okay, so the Nyantechi era is gone. Kurt is in now. I mean, he's received a lot of goodwill. How is he using that, for example, to create a table for all these guys to come and sit at the table?
I think Kurt is doing a good job. But the rot was so deep, it would not be built in a day. I think that
so let's give them time.
One day at a time.
But then let's keep reminding them that, look, this is the agenda. We also want to see our people do sports and be happy, so that when the painful part is that you see a boy who's so talented, a lady who's so talented, they want to get into sports, then the mother says, hey,
go and get a degree in medicine.
So that's why we are where we are. And that's why we'll have more officials following our Olympics team than there are athletes.
Than the continent itself.
Yes. We have more instead of taking more athletes to the game, we took more officials than there were athletes.
Case in point, 2014 Brazil
we
World
had
Cup.
over 23 officials and then about what, 11, 12 athletes?
Yes, no, 14 athletes.
14 athletes, 23 officials.
Case in point, Brazil 2014 World Cup. My final point, 2014 World Cup. I'm not even talking about the personnel here. But imagine after during the Jamaica Commission, we heard that the cook, there was a drama. All these guys were going there taking $82,500 as per diem and all of that. And all of that contributed to the $3 million that we took to Brazil, or we had to take to Brazil. But guess what? Winning the World Cup earns you how much?
Yeah.
Winning the African Cup of Nations earns you how much?
Was he after the break?
Exactly.